Right, I'm back, and my name is Magpantay. I am living here in the United Kingdom, and I have a band called Thy Last Drop, and what I use in that band is a Bandurria. So it's a Philippine Bandurria, and I've been using Philippine Bandurria alongside British music or local music, Suffolk music, for maybe about 4 years now. Earlier on, I had a review of the OC Bandurria, which I've been using. It's quite reliable despite little flaws, and I thought I needed a backup Bandurria, so I asked my cousin Mike Bond to get me another one, and he got another one. This time, this one was made by a guy from Pampanga, whose name is Greg Macatuno Pangan the third. And this is his Bandurria, that we had made. So I've had this for about March, April, May, June. That's about 3 months since my father sent it over here to the Philippines, and I've never used it live. I've never played it live, and I'll tell you why after, in a few moments. I'll tell you why I'm not able to use it. So let me start with the good things first. Let's be positive, okay? Let's start with the good things. The good thing is that the wood looked a bit decent in here, so as compared to the Bandurria. So here's my Bandurria. You see, it looked like a Pallochina, but this one, that's more decent, and they said it's more expensive wood. The back, if you look at them compared side to side, this one looks a bit more expensive as well, whether it was just brushed or something, but the wood looked nice. This one's not too bad as well. Now the finish is apples and oranges really, because this one was glossy, while this one is matte. So again, I can compare the two. Now in terms of the size, if I look at the size, this one is much more smaller compared to my Bandurria. Bandurria's got it's like a little bit more pear shape, whereas this one is just like a like a teardrop or something. Now the width of the neck, this one's a bit narrower, and it feels like there's more effort done into making this as compared to this one. This one is like a chunk of wood, and it's really fat. Now it could have done a little trimming to just make it look like it wasn't just a block of wood. Now this one, again, the finish is much nicer. I think the Bandurria won this time because it's red and it's nicely, there's cellulose finishing in there, whereas this one, it made it look like it's a wood, but it's just an artwork. But this is brown, and this just used some I think it's a sponge that made the color change a bit, and it made it look like a wood. What else? The other funny thing about these two things, about the tuning, this is why I have not been able to use this. The tuning keys, they're crazy. Look at that. If you can see that, I don't know whether you can see that, there's just a gap in there, so it's not even properly screwed. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 screws in there, but there are like 1, 2, 3, 4, but there are like 5, 6, 7, 8. So there are 8 spaces for screws to bolt it into the wood, but the maker, whatever his name was, an expensive guy from Pampanga, what was his name, Greg Macatuno, just decided to just do 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, 1, 2, and 2 on this side. Look at that. That's the first time I've seen that. So again, there's just no pride in what they're doing, and it's a shabby work, really, really annoying. The other thing is that, look, there's a spacing in there. There's a space there's no spacing. There's a space. It didn't get it, you know, the maker, Greg Macatuno, didn't get it, you know, flat against the neck in there. So it's crazy. So that is ridiculous. The other thing, when you tune this, normally if you, it's the wrong way round really. So if I turn it down, so that's the turn down, and that'll be to turn up, whereas the other instrument, it's the other way around. So I don't know whether this should have been on that side and that should have been on this side. Again, shabby, annoying, embarrassing workmanship. Now there's big holes in there, yeah, and you can see that they've got those things. I don't know whether you can see them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's to cover the drilled hole in there. But at the bottom, there's just not enough space. Look, there's no space. So that part was taken off. So okay, frustrating, really frustrating. And I'm sure that my father is quite frustrated because he paid for this, and they paid about 5,500 or something. Now the downside, the nut, there's just something in there like a sandwich, like an Oreo, reverse Oreo nut. I'm sure it's plastic. It's much deeper groove as compared to the Bandurria, but that one looks like it's a bit, they kind of know what they're doing, you know, a little bit better, you know, not overly, you know. 1 to 100, 100 is the top marks. I'd give this a, you know, 60% for the effort, the Bandurria, whereas this one I'd give, oh god, you know, maybe 40%. This feels like this is a you know, a nice attempt, high school work. Okay, now the bridge is the same. Again, it's plastic. The bridge in there is plastic, and intonation wise, again, I have not used this live to really care, you know. So if that's a G, that's a G, that should have been an A, and that's way off as well, and that would have been a B, way off, and then that's a C. Oh, it went in tune. So again, so it's not just the intonation, but I bet that it's the what do you call that? Those fretboards are also not in appropriate measurement as well. So that's a downside. The neck on this one, it looked brown, but it doesn't give the shine of a rosewood. So it could be a rosewood, it may not be. Whereas this one, you can definitely tell that that's a rosewood. Bandurria is a winner on that side, on the fretboard. What else do I despise about these things? Yeah, there's about you know, it's like an active pickup in there. I've used it once in a rehearsal, but it was giving me some feedback. So that was the downside of that. It looked nice, it looked good, it looked cute, but I could not rely, have not been able to rely on it, because again, the workmanship on the headstock, if that's what you call this part here, is shabby, really embarrassing. Would I buy another one? I don't know. I probably, you know, I probably would not, you know. Out of that, you know, it's not because the instrument looked nice or good, it's because, you know, of the workmanship. And if somebody makes an instrument like this and you pay a good amount of money for an instrument like this, then you expect something. But if nobody makes an effort, if he didn't make an effort to just do the right thing in the first place, then it's quite embarrassing for him, and that just makes me think that it's a, you know, it's a good attempt, man, good attempt, you know. You know, good for elementary, for high school, but not for a professional musician. You know, for an artist, oh, definitely not. You know, something that I would not hand over to my grandchildren, really, or to my children as an heirloom. What else? Again, you know, it's dark. Ooh, nice wood. A little bit expensive. This I had put in afterwards. So I've not been able to try these things really, so I don't know which ones are loose or not. The other thing is that I don't like about this is this. Again, it is aluminium. You know, aluminium crap. You know, they don't make it like brass or something anymore. So this is again a Bandurria of Macatuno Pangan. Would have been nice, you know, would have been nice had this part here been okay. But until then, I'd say this is a crap Bandurria, because I've not been able to rely on this. Whereas this Bandurria, okay, again there are a few problems in here, but you know, at least I relied on it. At least I've gigged with this. So, you know, this one has gone through a little bit more initiation, has gone through some initiation as compared to this one where it just didn't pass, you know, the test really. Now, the other thing about this one is there's a good spacing in here, so it's a bit wider too. The neck is a bit wider, or the fretboard is a bit wider, whereas this one is narrower. And the strings, they just, it doesn't feel like there's like three different notes in there. So yeah, let's try. Yeah, it's got a good chorus to it. Yeah, to be fair. The downside is this one, the cog's not working, so it just slides back, or it's just not working. Maybe because of the space in there, so it's not working, so it never goes in tune. I could never tune it to the level which was B, I think. So now temporarily I've had 1 string, 1 string, 2 string, 3, 3, 3, you know, on the grouping of the string in here. So I've taken off the other one, which again, it's a what, 13 string Bandurria rather than 14. So conclusion, useless. Sorry boy. Right, so look me up, look us up. My band is called Thy Last Drop in YouTube, and see the Bandurria in action. Cheerio.